Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name is Nathan. I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, this is Gravity Rush 2.
Yes, it is. At
Look,
last.
I'm Kat.
Yes. Okay.
This is my character, Kat.
I thought you were going to say more about her being joined by a cat.
No, she also is joined by a cat, but that cat's called Dusty. So what this video is about, we sometimes do on open world games, and this is a kind of an open world game.
Yeah.
We do looks at the map, and we normally call them the map from end to end.
Yes.
Because we're on Earth and it's flat and
That's
it's got
true.
gravity. But this time, we've called this one the map from top to bottom.
I'm intrigued to find out why.
Well, it's very vertical, and I didn't play tons of the first Gravity Rush game, so if you've played that one, this sense of discovery might not be completely new to you. But if you haven't played any Gravity Rush, my discovery about how the games are structured, man, I've been loving it. And the art in this game is something else, and the way you move around is obviously the key part of it. But they've built a world to suit that way of moving. So this is where you start. I'm not going to go into story details too much, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers really, apart from the fact that this is Banga, okay? So after the first game, Kat and Dusty were pulled up into a kind of a gravity storm, and they just deposited somewhere they'd never been before. And it's this place called...
This is that place?
Banga.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's run by a lady called Lisa, and it's all wooden, and it's really basic, and you're here for like a while, man. You're doing like mining missions and stuff. And I was like, oh, I've heard a lot about Gravity Rush, you know. And this is, I mean, I'm just mining and stuff, and I'm like...
very wooden.
I'm kind of running around. Yeah, it's really wooden. And then... at a certain point, a little while in, okay, so this is the first area I wanted to show you, and then you get to, you dock in a city, and I'm going to just look.
Whoa.
There it is, over there.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
And this is, so like, I'm going to, you walk off basically over here, so this is, I'm going to lead you to the first, everywhere's called Lei, right? This is the first name of all of the kind of places that I'm about to show you.
Okay.
And this is Lei Colmanae, which is like a marketplace.
Wow, look at that. That looks absolutely incredible, doesn't it?
It's great.
The art style is so suited to this kind of, you know, they just hand in hand the world and even the things that are in the distance. Mate, it's sort of like half drawn. It's like beautiful.
I love it. Yeah, it's like
it's like a sketch of a, you know, like an unfinished sketch.
I love
in the background.
As you're moving through the world, I love the detail in it on a kind of a... I mean, you fly, you know, or fall technically, but you fly around most of what you're seeing.
Yes.
So a lot of the detail is lost. You do missions on the ground. I love the everywhere you look, like the detail in the kind of the car, the vehicles that are flying around on the little loops and stuff. I just love it. And the first thing I did, right, this is what gave me a sense of the world. I saw those things over there, and I assumed that they were a drawing.
Yeah.
And then I fired myself, or Kat, towards them. And this was the beginning of my adventure, and the beginning of me deciding to make this video as well. I'm about to.
So they're not.
No, man. Look. So I was as I got closer to them, they resolved from those sketch things into a really. I mean, it is stylized, but it, you know, it's they resolve from those kind of sketches into real places.
This is amazing. Well, I didn't know that. Like I thought that you know, they just
background
put the different sort of, you know, like sketches.
I know. And here's a world you could visit. No, this is like a real.
Oh my goodness!
And it's actually more of the same place. This is still the kind of the marketplace. It's a bit smoggy.
This is huge
at the moment. Yeah, I was kind of, once you're on the ground, you really get a sense of the scale of it. So I'm going to drop us down here, and then I can recharge my
this statue of a seahorse, which
well.
I love.
Yeah, of course you do. Every home needs one. Yeah, so then you can kind of look back to where we were. Sorry, seagulls. And look, and now that's all sketchified, but you can just about make out the Banga down there. And that's Dusty having a bit of a gravity. Oh, Nevi are here. Bad guys. Oh, we're going to get some unexpected fighting.
Happening.
Yeah, I didn't. No one expected this.
I hope you've, you know.
Oh, I'm just going to throw stuff at them.
Right. I was going to say, I hope, you know, we're going to see
smashed a lamppost.
Some mega skills here.
No, not really. I wasn't expecting. I'm not prepped mentally, Dave. I'm not ready.
I'm a sightseeing. Are you firing? So one of your skills that you've learned is to be able to like launch
early on.
Objects.
You get the ability to launch objects and stuff. Just going to take out this last one. Sorry, I don't know why they're here.
Is that water? Wow,
yeah,
you can pick up like balls of water. That's cool.
That is one of the many things you
I
can do.
guess.
Go throw an umbrella at you. Good, okay. Wait, this
There's one more.
Not dead yet.
He is now.
Oh,
Now.
I'll get the bucket off its head. Okay, so there's my rainbow. I thought that was Dusty reappearing, and then because sometimes that is what she does. But yeah, so that's back down where we were. And you're right, man. It gives you that kind of sketch look that you might find in the background of like an anime. I love it.
That's fantastic. That's a really lovely touch. And I just can't get over it. I love that. I see why it's the map from top to bottom now as well. Because not everything's just on one plane.
Well, there's more, man, as well. So the next thing I did was I thought I hadn't really, then I saw down here,
wow.
and I was just like, what happens if I just jump and decide to fall? And what happens is the same. Oh, I'm gonna nearly hit there. Is the same thing. You get closer and closer and closer. I'm just letting her actually drift now. I'm going to make it so it looks a bit nicer. And this one is going to come into view as well.
Wow. This is, it's quite staggering. It's just so different to any other kind of world map I've ever seen. Like, places, I can totally get places that are sort of partitioned off and separate from other places.
I know, bridges. I understand bridges not being open. Thanks, GTA.
Yeah, those things are always on a single sort of plane of existence. And the fact that that it's so vertical in a way I've never seen before in a game.
Lei Colmanae. This is the houseboat fleet. So this is the kind of the poor district, if you like, which is why they're at the bottom. And a lot of the story involves how the people down here are treated versus people in the kind of the other areas of the map. And like you were saying about just how the geography is not how you expect something to be structured, and it actually makes it, I think. I mean, I love how kind of piled up it is. I love the style of not just the way that everything is kind of designed, but it really reminds me of kind of. I mean, if you've seen something like Blade Runner or The Fifth Element, you'll know that it's quite a European style of. That's maybe not fair, but like there is like a tradition of science fiction where you get these kind of layered anti-gravity kind of cities. Yeah. Which, I'm thinking of like Moebius and kind of artists like that, but I'm sure that in Japan there's a really strong tradition of it as well. And it just, like, I'm still now getting my head around just how big the map is because of the way that it's structured, and I'm sure I've not seen all of it, like I keep on thinking, like it goes sideways, there's things like overlapping other things, so it's just hard to tell when I've seen everything that there is to see, or whether there's like more areas to find.
It's that's just incredible, isn't it? It's just such an amazing, fantastical view. Yeah, like all these things hanging above your head. I think the way I can see what you're saying, and like the way that the city kind of the way it looks, and the way that not just even the way it looks, but the way that it is, it kind of informs the story and tells you about the world. I totally understand what you're saying about height, like where things are
exactly.
in this world.
It's a real kind of, it's a story of oppression and elites.
And they haven't just designed the world like that, just because it's nice and unusual, but because it's actually part of the story and
it fits so well. I think, obviously fits really well with the powers that they've decided to give Cat to. I'm about to fall down. I'm coming back up. Man, I think this is probably my favourite view in the game. Just it's like a downtown area, it's like Manhattan, but given wings. It's nuts. We are going to head up, though. There are a couple of places. There's 2 more places to see. I'm going to have to try and right myself here because I get quite confused by So the way that you maneuver, if you don't know, it will be explained better in other videos that we do, I'm sure, is you can kind of suspend gravity by pressing R1. And then you press it again, and you will kind of reassert gravity, but in the direction that you're facing. So I've chosen to fall in this direction so that I can get up here. And you can press L1 at any time, and that kind of just turns everything off, and you're back to normal. And then R1, and then R1 again, just pointing up to the sky.
And it's different, isn't it? It's because Cat's not flying, she's falling, which is something you have to kind of get your head around. So you're not really, directing her once you've. That looks amazing.
It looks nuts.
That looks absolutely amazing.
Bit of a Superman vibe.
So you really do, yeah. So since you're falling, you know, you just pick your direction and you go in that direction. You can adjust it by changing the direction of gravity, but it's not like flying. It's different. I think
exactly.
that's.
And I love that. I'm just gonna dip again. I think I haven't. That you can level up your character, and you can level up how long you're able to kind of fly in any direction for before you start to fall down. Oh, I love the different tones of the sky that you get in the different kind of stratospheres as well.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. So this is an area that we're about to go into called Lei Havina, which is well, you can probably guess it's all parks and posh people.
Right.
And the people up here are very mean. And one of the things that I really have come to enjoy about Gravity Rush is that it's like it has that kind of JRPG thing of like you just doing daft stuff that you'd never expect to be part of having a class-based revolt in the sky. Like I had to deliver newspapers for a while. I accidentally became a servant to some of the people that live here in this part of town.
Amazing.
For a while, and so they made me do stuff like water their garden, and they were all really horrible to me. So those, you know, this is the way that the game is kind of telling its story.
Yeah.
So I hate everyone here. They're really mean to me.
But they live in such a beautiful place.
Well, exactly. And do they deserve it, Dave?
Well, I don't know.
Who can say? But again, like this is all more spaced out. It's like detached houses.
Yeah.
And it's it's like it's all green and spacious with kind of marble architecture. Really kind of like a classical look to a lot of the architecture and lovely parks down there. And there's side missions and online elements like treasure hunts and photos that you can kind of interact with on every kind of tier. And the missions that I've just got to, the actual story missions, are now starting to take part in this part of town. Oh, I just really like the design of the crafts as well.
Yeah, they're
just
excellent.
Amazing. And it does have, you know, I talk about kind of European tradition of that kind of science fiction, but if you think to especially the slightly older Studio Ghibli movies, the kind of bordering on post-apocalyptic, well, Laputa Castle in the Sky. I mean, these are castles in the sky, effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And is there a further?
There is, man. And actually, I discovered this one before I should have done. So the first time I flew up here, an alarm went off and I was shot out of the sky.
Right.
And so, I mean, it is this is the kind of the central authority, Avarash or Havina, and this is where the kind of the seat of power is. So over here is kind of a flying. This is like a council to my left. So this is like the highest. This is like, you know, the government buildings. This is the Westminster of the skies.
Got ya.
I'm just going to fly over here because I really, really, really like the way that I'm going to dip here, but I really like the way the colours work over here. There's some views that you can get on the deck. This is, I mean, in designing, I'm kind of endlessly, as I'm playing the game, you know, when you play a game that's just so nicely designed and you kind of think, not only have you made it look pretty, which is, you know, well done, but you've made it so that as I move through this world, different parts of it strike me as like designed to look really strikingly a certain way in a certain style.
Yeah.
And I love that this is always basically, it's always kind of sunset beyond the clouds up here, and it looks like a Tony Scott movie. Like it's got that kind of, just the way that the sunlight reflects off the steel decks and stuff. You know? Oh.
Each tier is sort of not just visually distinct, but sort of tonally distinct, so you kind of know where you are. And
yeah, exactly.
That is
man.
cool.
And I just love, and it does, because this has, you know, it has a bit of a military vibe going on up here, and that kind of reminds me so much of like a Top Gun or
those are like anti-air guns.
They are
and stuff.
But basically any other Tony Scott movie.
Wow.
Apart from Top Gun. This is my sliding ability. I'm gonna look. So I found myself here earlier just while I was just kind of staking out bits of where I wanted to show you in making this map.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, why? I really wanted to start it here because this is just such a ridiculously good-looking part of the game.
Yeah.
These are my favourite colours, I think. And I just like that in packing away the different other parts of the world that you can travel to, down into those kind of, you know, when they're obviously using less kind of processing power to show it, but they've done it in such a way that it looks really kind of mysterious and evocative, and
Definitely.
and still within the style that the whole game is going for.
It draws attention to just the silhouettes, you know, like how otherworldly it is. Like, it's just so different from anything in the real world, you know, and
well,
the silhouettes really draw attention to that.
We spend so much time, and you know, I love the games that we normally look at in this way. Loads of them are, not all of them, but you know, loads of them are fantastic games. But it's so just refreshing to come to a game which is just designed in a just a, you know, just literally upside down compared to other games that we normally play.
Yeah.
It's been flipping great, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed exploring it and finding kind of little bits and pieces in the world, and mostly it's kind of just how things look and the design of things.
Yeah,
it's been so different. So here I am. I believe so far, at least, that I think there are actually other places that unlock later. I can already unlock. You can go back to Banga, because the whole point of Banga is that it's like a mining kind of town.
right.
So you can go from there to. They're not attached to this world, I don't think, but you can kind of travel to places where you can go mining,
Right.
and they're kind of like one-off challenge worlds,
Yeah.
which are kind of different. Some of them are like giant vegetations and jungles and stuff, and I believe there are other things coming, because even though I've been playing it for flipping ages, I don't think I'm that far through the story. So yeah, that is for now at least our look at the world of Gravity Rush 2 from top to bottom. I'm just going to jump off the edge, Dave, if you've got any. I love just falling.
Yeah. Well, you know, falling in most games is usually a bad thing. You know, it's nice that in Gravity Rush 2, it's literally one. Well, it's every mode of transport.
Yeah,
You're always falling, aren't you?
That's how you get around.
But just, you know, being able to run and jump off of something so inviting as that, and not just instantly die, is really fantastic. And this is probably a really good way to end as we go past.
Framing the camera while she
tears.
kind of points herself down towards stuff. I don't know, man. I was not expecting to enjoy this game visually as much as I have enjoyed it. It really is something else. And
look at that, so much ahead.
The story is the kind of story where you kind of just let it. I was on Banga for longer than I expected at the beginning, without any of my powers and stuff.
Yeah.
You've really got to let it's fun. You know, it's like fun in a way you're not necessarily expecting. You've just got to kind of let it wash over you. There's Banga in the background.
God.
Still falling, going past
She's
the
really going.
marketplace. Wake up. Okay.
Into the depths.
And into the final part. So this is literally from top to bottom now as we fall down to Lei Colmanae, and that is where we're going to leave it, with Kat suspended. Glowing upside down, with her gravity powers activated. Thank you very much for watching, Dave. Thank you for taking this little journey with me.
Thank you.
We're going to have probably one more video on Gravity Rush 2, which, as you can probably tell, I've been enjoying quite a lot. We're going to have kind of a look at just a few bits of the systems that you might not, a little bit of a dig into them. I've been playing it, like I said, for about 8 or 10 hours now, so just a little look at what I've discovered. No spoilers again. So do let us know what you think about Gravity Rush 1, Gravity Rush 2. Let people know in the comments if they haven't played them before why they should, because I really do think they should. Please stay tuned to the channel. We've got actually a very packed January coming up. There's loads to hang around for, so do stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.